Hi, welcome to clickmyproject.com. We can see our project title is Real-Time Scheduling with Security Enhancement for Packet Switch Network. The differentiated earliest deadline fast scheduler used real-time. The security enhancement scheme adopts a concurrency control mechanism. QoS is guaranteed for different types, audio and video of real-time data flows. The packet security levels are adaptively enhanced. They solve to the feedbacks from the concurrency control module. So any dynamic change in the network cannot affect the pre-negotiated security level, while interaction is the protocol of rules and constraints that controls the transactions performed by the cooperating agents. You can see our project data flow diagram is we can start the process. So next process is source detail. So to getting information, user systems, which files to send in client process, so in which file size and getting information of the source details. So to send the process of queue process and different scheduler process. The different scheduler process scheduling the user process, user sending request our file size to taking information of scheduling process. So how many users to requesting the file, so which users to sending first priority wise, that users was selecting the queue processing. On which file do you send in the users process to client process, the requesting the service authority process to sending the file processing client process in destination process. Let us see our demo is. So get source detail and packet information and request for coordinator. Source agent interacts with the coordinator agent and higher priorities are assigned to the streams with smaller deadline. For heavy traffic load, above schemes implements a concurrency control mechanism. So to click on the button, so to be on user IP address and memory and processor name and MAC address. So user before requesting the admin process to get user network information. So to click on the packet information button, so which files to send client processes has function key can be generated. That key generating the what content in file depend in key generation. Any one letter missing key was changed after destination. The same key was generated files, no losses in same content will be getting client processes. It's verifying the process of send files. Which files to send in client processes, that file is selected in file upload. So I have to select in one video file. So as function key was generated in same file. So file size is 25 MB and file extension WMB. Key is placed in text box. To click on the button which files generating the key, that files and file size is displayed here. User IP address 192.168.0.55 and file and user file size displayed here. So to click on the time alert button, so which time to send, the time starting the process, current date is displayed here. So file extensions, so to click on the button file extensions is transfer the admin processing. So time can start the process in request of admin process. The time is taken in the request for user time. So how many users requesting which time, which users to give first request, that users is selecting the process. So admin process initially ideal the process. We can start the process of admin. So we can start the server in admin process. So get it a response to client. So server will be connected. So to click on the button, so to click on the request for coordinator, process server connecting the processes, user requesting admin processes, that request is sent successfully. So your process verified successfully. So user which time to send and which files to send in admin process, that files are sent in admin process. To click on the view button, how many user request process, how many users to sending the request in which time. To be on the admin process, to click on the button, so file extension and hash function key, which time to send in users and file size and IP addresses. So total count in 1. So this count are same files to send in same users that taken into duplicating files. So total count are 2. So that file request in one time. So total count is 1. Duplicating process, the removing the admin process. So to click on the next button, So how many users requesting the admin process? So in the whole total users was displayed here. So to click on the scheduling priority, so scheduling priority, which users first request, that user is selecting the queue processes send service authority. To click on the queue button. So queuing process, which uses the first request, that users was selected in the queuing process. The user start time request 7:17 p.m. So date, now current date 16/4/2014, and user IP address, which users to selecting the queue processes, that IP addresses are shown here. So 192.168.0.55 and file size 25 MB and hash function key and file extensions shown here. So that user selecting the queue processing, so service authority sending the request of the same user. So to click on the next button. So to getting information of request of service authority, to click on the button. So to click on the send users, the which users was selected in the queue processing, that users requesting the process of. So your process verified successfully. So your IP address is selected in queue process, enter and center IP addresses. So service authority sending request is send in successfully. Which client sending the file in user we want, so that client IP addresses enter on text box. So 192.168.0.66. click on the button, the file name and file size, so which file, so user we want to send, that file and file size displayed here. So to click on the button, next button. So user selecting file, the which file to send in client process. So users we have to select, so I have to select in one video file. Before sending the process, the video files are played. So local time 7.25. So to click on the encrypt button, to click on the show before sending the process of the file, so encrypt the processing the file. So to click on the next button. So receiver IP address is entered in text box 192.168.0.66. So file should be sending the client process. So starting time 7.29 p.m. so end time 14 milliseconds. That file is sending the process, in between time is 14 milliseconds only. So traveling time 14 milliseconds only to transfer the file of the client process. Process verified successfully, to sending the process of successfully in client process. So to be on the hash function key, the same key was generated, the file no content losses in getting the information. So the same key is placed in the text box. To click on the button, the file name and file size, so file encrypted path is shown here. So to click on the next button, so user selected, so which path to encrypting the file, so that file was selected, files both are equals, that file says decrypting the process. So finally after destination, the same key was generated, the files are shown here. So finally analyzing the process, the time interval and IP addresses, so which user sending the files, that IP addresses was shown here. So which user sending the file in client process, the client IP address is shown here. So user sending file size is 25, so that file transferring the 5 milliseconds only, transferring the process, then sending the file between time only 5 milliseconds. Thank you.